Next speaker, and I've been practicing his name, is Markus Ronde. How am I doing? Yeah?
Yes,
woohoo! Markus Ronde, Chief Executive Officer of Exergy3, who's going to talk to us about thermal energy storage, powered decarbonisation of the Annandale Distillery. Markus.
Oh, thank you very much. Good morning. My name is Dr. Markus Ronde. I'm the CEO of Exergy3, and we are a brand new spin-out company of the University of Edinburgh, where over the past 10 years, researchers and scientists have developed a game-changing new thermal energy storage technology. And this talk is about the story of how we teamed up with two very traditional Scottish companies, Annandale Distillery and Cochrane Boilers, to deliver one of the most exciting and ambitious decarbonisation projects on this island. This is funded by the UK government with £3.6 million as part of the Net Zero Innovation Portfolio. But before I hop into the project details, I want you to remember two statistics. The first one is this. In 2021, the British energy consumers paid nearly £500 million for wind turbines to be switched off. £500 million a year, so you don't get clean energy. This happens in situations when the energy supply is larger than the energy demand. So you can imagine it's 3 o'clock in the morning, it's a very windy night, but everybody's sleeping and nobody needs power. At the same time, 47% of the global CO2 emissions are caused by heat. And nearly 90% of this heat is at temperatures of more than 100 degrees Celsius. So what this tells you is that the problem is not only the heating of buildings, but also the production of goods. This is the production of chemicals, cement and steel, but also the production of much more common things, yogurt, baby food, glass. Now, our proposition is very simple. We take green electricity from the grid, we store it at temperatures of up to 1,200 degrees Celsius within our thermal energy storage systems, and we then pump this heat directly into your client process at any pressure, temperature, or flow rate that you need, or we pump it into a Cochrane boiler, we raise steam, and we thereby decarbonize your process. And there are two major advantages to this. Obviously, by electrifying your process, we remove fossil fuels from the system. But unlike direct electrification, you get to buy the electricity at times when it's genuinely green and when it's produced in excess of demand and therefore genuinely cheaper. So this is, in our view, the most cost-effective decarbonization solution of heat that you can get. Which brings me to the Annandale project, which is a very great example how serendipity often shapes how Scottish projects are formed. About 18 months ago, I was at a renewable heat event hosted by Scottish Enterprise in their Edinburgh offices, where I bumped into a guy called Eric from Cochrane Boilers. We had a wee chat in the networking session and decided, oh, maybe we could work together. We had our engineers look into how our systems can be interconnected to Cochrane Boilers. We figured out that this could work. So Eric then went to the local distillery in Annan, where Cochrane is based, and asked them, would you be interested in us trying this solution to decarbonize your distillery? Annandale Distillery, as it happens, has very progressive owners who have the ambition to create the first complete net zero whisky in Scotland. And it was a match made in heaven. Within a month, we wrote a funding proposal. We involved as many local Annan/Dumfries and Galloway-based contractors as we could, submitted this up to the UK government, were awarded the funding in March last year, kicked off this project in May. We have now increased Exergy3 from no people to a company with a team of 14 members, based in Edinburgh and producing our machines in Midlothian. At Cochrane's in Annandale, they're currently building the boiler that is needed to raise the steam of our system. And Annandale Distillery is being prepared to increase their electricity connection so they are able to charge our machine. What it will look like when it's done is that we will have spent £3.6 million, and we have built 3 thermal energy storage units, each with a capacity of 8 megawatt hours, which will store heat at a temperature of 1,200 degrees Celsius, and will then pump that heat when the distillery is operating into their boiler, which will raise the steam, which they will then use to power the whisky production. The idea behind charging is we will charge it at night at times when the electricity on the grid is very green, and then during the day the distillery has the resources that they need to produce the whisky. Now, what makes this solution unique are three aspects to it. The one is it's very, very compact. So our storage systems are about 4.5 meters long, 2.5 meters wide, and 2.5 meters wide. And within that, they store energy equivalent to 8 megawatt hours, which is quite a lot. And what this enables us to do in built environments or cities is to bring clean energy storage into environments where space constraint is an issue. The second interesting aspect of it is these are designed to be factory built, which means you don't end up with a construction site at your venue for the next 3 months because they're building a complex thing, but we build them in Midlothian, we put them on a truck, we bring it to you, and we drop it on site. And the final thought on this is that both from a CapEx financial view and an OpEx financial view, this is one of the cheapest options that you have. All you need is to buy our equipment and a boiler, both being fairly reasonably priced compared to other decarbonisation solutions. And because you're then able to use electricity that would otherwise be constrained to power your heat demand, you can significantly reduce the cost that you're paying. And this is specifically interesting at the moment for Scotland, because the UK government is announcing, well, not announcing, but there are some noise that's in the air, that they might move to localised energy pricing, which means that areas of the United Kingdom where there is a lot of generation and little supply, such as Scotland, will get more and more competitive energy prices. Now, you might wonder why I'm giving you this industrial carbonisation speech at a conference about the built environment, and this is because a side effect of what we're doing is that we can also use this to decarbonise district heating systems, large public sector buildings, such as, for instance, Victoria Quay. We can use it to power CHPs that power university or hospital campuses, and we can also even use it to decarbonise palaces. And we're really interested to get our foot onto the ground in this sector. And if you are a public sector authority thinking this might be a solution that works for us, please come to our stand later on upstairs to discuss if we could work together on this. Or if you're a partner organisation who is specialised on this kind of projects, looking at you, Nick, feel free to come through as well and speak to us. However, there's another aspect to this, and this is something which is particularly interesting if you are a member of the Scottish Government or a Scottish Government minister, which is that this technology can change fundamentally how we look at the Scottish energy system. We had a great advantage in that we are based on an island in the middle of a stormy sea. There's a lot of renewable energy here already, and it's going to expand exponentially. And if we can flex this to get low-cost energy in Scotland, we can kick off a second green industrial revolution here. Because Scotland could have some of the cheapest energy prices in Europe, and by using our technology, this cheap electricity can become cheap heat. And heat is the main cost for industry. And industry isn't bound to where they are now. If you have German companies noticing that they could have energy at much lower cost in Scotland, they will move here. So my view on this is rather than exporting the energy that we have, why don't we use it to build an economy here that can use this energy to build goods and value, which can then be exported? Thank you very much.
Markus, such wise words. I know that we've recently announced that we've got energy security in the UK because of a grid connection to Denmark. That's not energy security, that's energy security. Made in Scotland for Scotland. That makes sense to me, so thank you very much indeed.